They did not find love on The Bachelor. They did not find love on The Bachelorette. But palm trees, coconut rum, and the ocean is an easy way to find romance. It is the Bachelor in Paradise pre-show here on AfterBuzz TV.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do in the wide shots ever.
I know. But Mike, I'm excited too. It's boys panel today.
Boys panel only. So that's interesting.
Related, Ryan, I have a quick request. Find royalty-free rock music for us as we introduce ourselves. See what you can find. That's our producer, Ryan, in the booth.
Very good.
This is not royalty-free. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us. It is Monday. It's the start of the week. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. My name is Mike Thieling. Guys, it's starting today. Bachelor in Paradise starts tonight. We wanted to get out in front of it with a little pre-show, let you know our thoughts, but it's not just me. I'm joined, of course, by the amazingly talented Jeff.
You know, Mike, it's great to be here. It is such a gift for me to take the back seat every once in a while, and Mike's going to be moderating our Paradise panel, which is great, and I'm just such a fan. I love hosting with my co-hosts because I love them as peers, but I also admire them as fans, and I love when you moderate, Mike, so I'm very excited to be here.
I appreciate it, and I see all of our fans, all of our friends in the chat right now. Kicking it, we got Rebecca, Amy, Amaya, Joseph, Obsessed Fan, Kyla, Joseph, Amaya again. A lot of these are my friends from Love Island, guys. You know I'm doing Love Island in just a second, and basically Bachelor in Paradise is, I think, a better production value Love Island.
Well, it's been around for a while.
As Amy correctly points out, we are not boys, we are men.
Oh, yes, we are. We talk like this.
Yeah, we get really deep with it. Jeff, before we go, because basically, guys, we're going to talk about our overall thoughts. We're going to review super quick the end of Hanna's season, overall thoughts on Bachelor in Paradise, and then really quickly, we're going to go contestant by contestant for the first 20 revealed contestants to give our thoughts and see what we're thinking. But first off, let's go back and start with Hanna. Jeff, any final thoughts on what turned out to be a really great Bachelorette season we just finished?
Yeah, I think looking back, exactly what you just said. It was a really great season. Both of us were Hanna skeptics, and when you look at her season as a whole, compared to other seasons, we're Bachelor scholars, right? We're historians. We contextualize all of this. I think it was a great season. I think her season will really stand out for being the journey of someone discovering themselves, even if they don't find love.
Yeah, I think it was fantastic. There were a lot of cool twists and turns. We had interesting stuff with Luke P. Mm-hmm. We had, windmills, and then we had things we didn't expect at the end. And it kind of all worked out fine, I think, for everybody.
Except Hanna.
No, I think Hannah's actually going to be fantastic.
She will.
The stuff we've seen of Tyler hanging out late night after their date and stuff, like things, we know a little bit more tea that's not really working out, but I think she's going to have no problem. I think Tyler's going to have no problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really Jed who's kind of lucked out in this whole thing.
No vacations for Jed.
Hey, no vacations, but we wish him well. I don't wish anybody bad anything. I wish him well. Moving into what is the more lighthearted side,
yes,
I think, of this franchise. Of course, it was Bachelor Pad, but that wasn't enough bikinis, so now we have Bachelor in Paradise.
Nude Beach Bachelor.
Nude Beach Bachelor, basically.
Yes.
Give me your overall thoughts on kind of the strategy and the intricacies of Bachelor in Paradise. And for a lot of these people going in, it's brand new. They've never been on the show before. What do they expect going into it?
Yeah, Paradise, I will be very, very candid. If I had to pick my favorites in the franchise, Paradise would probably be a little lower on the list just because I love the original franchises. But they've done a nice job with Paradise, enough that I'm really excited to hop on the panel this season and cover it. I think it's a different show. It's a completely different feel. It is more Love Island. It is lighter. And it's interesting because it's a lot more, even you could argue in a Big Brother way, about playing the game strategically. I think on the spectrum of ABC prestige reality to MTV ratchet reality, this one definitely tilts more toward the MTV side.
Yeah.
Which makes for interesting TV watching.
Which is usually the shows that I do here on AfterBuzz, just like Love Island.
The classy ones.
The classy ones, exactly. Amy correctly points out in the chat, is Wells going to bartend this season because he is newly engaged, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I have heard through the grapevine that Wells is back.
Okay, good. Well, we like him. Actually, that's false.
Oh.
I hate him.
You don't like Wells?
I hate him.
Bye.
Well, that's fine. I hate
Jeff
him.
Graham is leaving the studio.
I hate him for the simple fact that should be my job. That is my host job right there. I should be on the island serving up drinks. But no, the dude is great. No,
He could use
really
a wingman, though.
I mean, I can
Mike Thieling.
bar back. I'm there.
That's
I
true.
can just pass out drinks and make snarky comments. I can do this all day and all night. I do love it that it is, because we've really gotten into it with Love Island. Is all my friends who watch Love Island with me here every single day know we talk a lot about the game aspect of Love Island and partnering up and coupling up with someone, even if you not necessarily have a great connection with them, because you're going to go forward and win the game.
Right.
At least on Love Island, there's a monetary prize. Correct me if I'm completely off base here, but there is not. Right?
Well,
it's only love in Bachelor in Paradise.
Here's what I'll say. Neil Lane's rings, they have a monetary value, so there's that. But yes,
not sponsored, but Neil, call us. So we got tons of rings right
we'll
here.
We'll bring you on the show, Neil. Or maybe not. I've heard that there's some sketchy, I don't know. Let us know in the comments if you know about the Neil Lane drama, because I've heard he might not be the saint that ABC hopes he would
I don't, and I want to find out. We did not go to him for our wedding rings, so I guess shame on us.
Yeah.
Let's go. I am so... Man, this is my first day back after the weekend, right? It's my first time moderating Bachelor in Paradise. I'm doing a terrible job right off the bat.
I think you're doing great.
No, because we have not introduced the third man of the panel today. Our boy in the booth is Ryan today.
Right, guy.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Just for yourself. Do you have a camera on today? Are you camera ready for all the fans?
I can get camera ready,
You
you
do
guys.
that.
I just need a moment.
Please do that. But first, while you're doing that, could you bring up Annalise? Because we're going to go step by step through all the contestants that ABC has on their website released officially right now and get our thoughts. So first up, of course, is Annalise. Jeff. Well,
Annalise.
Scarred. If I'm remembering right, scarred by bumper cars. Of course.
The best top 5 moments?
Yes.
In Bachelor
Yes.
were the bumper cars, do you think?
One of them, for sure.
I think top 5 for me.
Completely made no sense.
Oh, it's so
was
great,
fantastic.
though. It's so great.
So cringy and so great. Of
Yeah.
course, guys, she's from Ari's season, and then she was in Bachelor in Paradise last season, and we all know how that ended up. She got a great connection with Cam. I believe that we just called him Cam, right? Camille?
Camille.
I called him Cam at home.
He
Got a
had,
great
like, an
connection.
accent.
And then on the reunion show, he broke up with her.
Oh, yeah.
So super sad. He's probably not coming back to Paradise.
He
but
was
she
the one
is
that
looking for love.
kind of looked like a cardboard cutout, right?
Love it.
And like had the personality of a cardboard
Well,
cutout.
maybe.
Yeah, I
She
remember
liked him.
She did like him, yes.
She liked him, and it was good. And they didn't have any bumper cars on the island. So, what are your thoughts for Annalise? She's been through this once already.
I think, there's an earnest likability about Annalise. I'm not always sure that she has the mental and physical fortitude for reality TV, but selfishly, that makes for great viewing. There's another Bachelor podcast I listen to called Will You Accept This Rose?
Okay.
It has Arden Marine from Mad TV, who's a female comic.
Yeah.
And it's comics who cover the show. I gotta say, it is ruthless.
Yeah.
But they've brought Annalise on the show, and they love her.
I love her. I
Arden,
love her.
Her
You do?
podcast is insane.
Oh, you love the show. You love the Bachelor show.
I love
right?
Arden.
Arden's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
She's a Bachelor obsessive. I'd love to bring her in for our show.
That's really cool.
It would be a different feel because she is ruthless
Yeah.
but hilarious. So we'll bring Arden on if she wants.
I like it. I'm always hopeful for her. Annalise, to me, is a hopeful romantic, not hopeless, hopeful, because she seems like a really nice person.
For sure.
I think, just like you said, maybe not completely cut out for reality TV or not really knowing like what she's gotten herself into, but I'm hopeful for her. So I think she's going to have a nice time.
Great.
And it worked for her once. So, what again? Now we move into the saddest of all,
Bibs.
Bibiana.
Love Bibs.
Bibiana is one of my favorite contestants of all time because I think she's absolutely beautiful. I think she's super cool. Like, she just seems like a really cool girl to
keeps
date.
it real.
But she cannot find love to save her life. She was also on Ari's season. She was on Bachelor Winter Games, which actually, side note, where do you place that on your tiers of franchise?
I'm about to lose all my credibility as a host.
You love it.
I have never seen it.
Oh, you didn't see it?
Isn't that bad? Do I still count?
It's not bad. It would be on your bottom, probably. It would be on it. Don't worry about it. No.
Okay.
So she was in Winter Games, and she was in the previous season, this past season of Bachelor in Paradise. I love her. She saved, why did his name just run out of my head? Bachelor,
Colton Bibs.
Colton. Yeah, she saved Colton, right? And he didn't repay her back. And it was like she just never made a connection with anybody there, gave him the connection so that he could stay when he was going through the whole thing with Tia. What do you think of Bibiana?
I think, just like you said with Bibs, like seems great. She seems like she'd be a likable catch. The problem is, I think with each progressing season of Paradise, she's just bringing more baggage with her. And unfortunately, people know that. They've seen the broken relationships. They've seen the potential need for her to maybe, check therapy out, see what happens. And I think whether or not people realize they're doing it consciously, there is a fear that you're bringing Bibs and her baggage.
I totally understand that, but I don't care. If you're a guy on the island, I say you get with Bibiana right away. I think she's going to be super solid, and I think she would be a ride or die person for the entire season.
Love it.
If you caught her. I love her. Next up is your boy Blake. Newbie to Bachelor in Paradise, of course, was on Becca's season of Bachelorette. Made it really, really, really far.
He was the runner-up.
He was the runner-up.
He was very sad after that broken proposal.
Good guy.
Very sensitive heart, Blake.
Yep.
But the rumors in sort of the Bachelor community are that Blake didn't play super nice this year.
Okay.
I think there's sort of that element of like he was like the nerdy theater kid who got ripped but still has the personality of the nerdy theater kid, and recognized that now he had this buffet of women at his disposal, and I think he really took advantage of the all-you-can-eat menu.
We see him doing some kissy-kissy with a lot of people in the previews.
And rumor has it that he brings some previous hookup baggage amongst contestants to the island.
Love it.
So
that's fun.
Yes, so we will see, but it's Blake, it'll be interesting to see where our assessment falls, because he was the nice guy.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, man, you take a turn. Wells gets a couple drinks in you, and then who knows? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Next up is Kailyn. Kailyn... Now, Renee's not here. Of course, Renee and Christine aren't here.
Kailyn.
Renee hates Kailyn. I love her.
Yeah.
I actually thought Kailyn was going to be the next Bachelorette. I was really surprised. I mean, I know now why, and as I've said over and over on our show, I did a 180 on Hanna. I totally liked her. I was very surprised that Kailyn was not the next Bachelorette. And of course, Kailyn's only been on Colton's season of Bachelor. I really, really like her. She comes off to me more sincere. She is, to me, not super outgoing, so more shy. So I don't know game-wise and just getting to know people if that's going to hurt her versus somebody like we'll see later, like a Demi who's going to go out and like get a connection, boom, right away with somebody and just put herself out there.
Yeah, she's a bit of a wild card. I think like it's hard to read right now what type of game Kailyn will play, because she played a pretty conventional game during Colton's season. So... I don't necessarily have a read on Kailyn, but it sure will be interesting to see once she enters that palapa.
I like her. I like her. I think she's going to do good. I'm optimistic for everybody. Let's move on. Ryan, this is ABC. Always be Cam. And now we can add IP. Always be Cam in Paradise. Here's Cam. Of course, we know him. Cam was an early kind of quote-unquote front runner, let's say. During Hanna's season, he came out in the after the final rose. He got the first impression rose before the season even started. And then, honestly, things just went downhill for this kid as soon as the season started. He hasn't been in Paradise before. He's got the shirt for it, of course, with the little flamingos. I don't know. I don't get a great vibe from Cam. I didn't like how he conducted himself, and I don't have any specifics to back it up, but it's just a gut thing from the beginning of Hanna. And
well, Mike, before you continue, I have a very important announcement.
Okay.
When I was 27, I had to get multiple surgeries and rehome my puppies. So I know you're hosting, but I just wanted to stop you and just tell you that.
No, so I love it. Way to call back. But I do want to defend him a little bit on that.
Okay.
Really quick, but that was a really good joke. I'm not taking anything away from that. I liked it. But I did see a random interview with him, I remember a while back, where he basically said, look, that looked extremely random, but we spend a week in the house by ourselves. We don't get to talk to Hanna. We don't get any of the right time, and it's just like you got to grab it as soon as it is. Did I think it was completely calculated and he just did it to try to get a sympathy rose? Yeah, absolutely. But at least he at least tried to defend himself. He's not like a Luke P situation, right? At least he was like, look, this is what it is. It came off bad, whatever. Yeah. But still, all that being said, and the tiny defense of him, I don't really like him.
I don't like him right now, but I'm very open to having my mind changed, because I think we saw enough douchebags on Hanna's season that, like, again, Cam looks great compared to what other behavior we saw in that season. And there's like a goofy earnestness about him that I could see like thriving in Paradise.
Prediction right now. How many episodes in does he wrap?
I think first thing we see is a wrap.
First episode.
I think we're going to see it right away.
First episode. There's no controversy there.
Yeah.
Easy pick. Ryan, let's move on to Chris. Chris is a Bachelor series veteran, to say the least.
Grandfather, maybe?
He's got it.
He is getting into, as we were talking before the show, MTV Challenge status here with the amount of appearances he's been. Bachelorette Season 8 with Emily. Bachelorette Season 10 with Andy. Bachelor Pad Season 3, which was the final season of Bachelor Pad, and Bachelor in Paradise Seasons 1 and 2. The guy has been around the block. Love is not happening for Chris.
Mike, don't you feel like if you're a woman, that's a bit of a red flag situation? It's like going on a Tinder date and being like, I've only been divorced 5 times, and you're kind of like, I don't know.
A lot of the fans out there who've been with me for a while know that I'm a wedding officiant. I performed this Saturday coming up is my 700th wedding. I have married people where their number in the divorce column is 5.
Yeah.
So yes, I would think a red flag, yes. However, in this situation, man, just like we talk about on Love Island, guys, this is still a reality show. It's not actual dating. Things move in completely bizarro world and things like that. Just the fact that, there are billions of people on Earth, and just the fact that Chris hasn't found a connection over, realistically, let's actually do it, because Bachelorette 2 times, that's only 1 girl. That's not that weird to not really connect with somebody.
True.
Bachelor Pad and Bachelor in Paradise, everybody's getting drunk, and a lot of people, just like you said, are going in with baggage. They're already paired up. So I don't know. I don't put it as such a negative. Admittedly, I don't really know Chris a lot. I don't think I saw some of his previous seasons. Yeah. But what's your overall thoughts on him from the past?
I'm sort of with you, where honestly, I can hardly remember from 2010. I feel like I can't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday. But there is an interesting element of gameplay that accompanies a franchise viewers. So I think what I'm most interested to see is how Chris chooses to play his game.
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. It'll be super interesting.
Yeah.
Next, let's go,
Clay.
Thank you, Ryan, to Big Clay. Of course, Clay is from Becca's season. The easiest way to describe Clay for me is gentle giant.
Yeah, it's great.
The guy's enormous. He was a football player. He seems very well-spoken and intelligent, and it's kind of interesting because to me his mannerisms don't match his physicality. It's not what you'd expect when this guy starts talking. So that's really cool.
He's a softie.
He's a big softie. We've seen in the previews already that he's having some luck. Like we see a date, we see I think even some kiss and some dance and things like that. So I'm happy for him because I think deep down Clay is a nice guy.
Yeah.
And it just... him and Becca were just not a match whatsoever.
I remember that season. Becca wanted to like Clay because she knew he was a good catch, but it wasn't there. It was, similar to potentially the Mike Johnson edit of Hanna's season.
I would disagree. I don't think
racist
Clay...
of me to say that, by the way. I hope not. This black guy was similar to this black.
Just as far as people, I don't think Clay was set up anywhere near as good to be a bachelor.
He didn't make it as far.
No, definitely not. And I don't think he really had that personality. I honestly... no disrespect, I really can't see him carrying a show. I don't see him being a bachelor. He's not outgoing.
Not as much charisma as Mike, but similar goofy niceness. I feel like they both share that. But I agree, Clay doesn't have quite the charisma of a Mike Johnson.
I mean, we got to get off of Clay right now because I'm super excited for our guest today. Yeah, it's my girl Demi. Let's go. Demi is, oh man. Everybody's burning question of what the girl is that Demi hooks up with. I am praying that it's Bibiana because then it would just be my 2 favorite girls getting along, and that's just fun for me.
Your head will explode if Demi.
Oh my gosh! I mean, that's exactly what she should go straight for Bibi and be like, "Look, secret, I'm bisexual. It's not working with you. Forgot. Let's just do this and win the game." And I think Bibi would be down for it, but. Obviously, Demi has only been on Colton's season and Hanna's season as a little secret undercover. She is just a spitfire of energy. Mom is out of jail now, so everything is good with that. And I just love her. She's so outgoing and spunky and seemingly fun. She's going to scare a lot of guys, but obviously we've seen the big talk of this, and I'm going to give a quick hot take and then I want to know what you think.
Ooh.
The big talk of this is the girl she's laying with in bed, crying, obviously some type of either, we'll just say bisexual because, she was on The Bachelor, so seemingly she's bisexual.
Yes.
My thing is, I am going out on a limb, unless there's some secret stuff that I don't know, I think ABC is setting us up.
Oh.
I think it's drunky, and ha 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 ha, and they lay down or whatever, and I think it's a setup to get people talking about it, because when she's crying and saying, I just don't want to lose you, we don't see that it's another woman.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical of it initially.
I hear you, Mike. That's a very ABC Bachelor franchise edit move to make. But what I will say is I actually think Demi is more responsible than people give her credit for. I think she's more thoughtful than people give her credit for. Her sort of ascent as like a darling of the Bachelor franchise has been very interesting, because typically, you know, like the lower middle class villain characters don't get this kind of treatment in the franchise, and she's become like one of the princesses of the Bachelor. I just love it. I love her too.
She didn't make it that far on her season, and yet still she was brought back to do the undercover work type
she's
stuff.
Such an interesting,
Yeah.
likable character in this franchise. And I think she's more thoughtful than we give her credit for. So I actually think there might be some authenticity to this same-gender love exploration.
All right.
So
I'm
hoping
with it.
for it. I'm hoping for it.
It would be cool. It'd be a cool first. It'd be interesting.
Yes.
Let's move as Ryan has shot us forward here to Derek.
I call him Jim Halpert, is what I call him.
Derek making 2 prior appearances. He was, of course, on JoJo's season of Bachelorette, and he was in Bachelor in Paradise season 4. This is another one. Admittedly, I don't know a ton about Derek. What are your thoughts?
Here's what I remember. I remember Derek getting eliminated from Becca's season. JoJo's season. Just devastated. I remember the edit hung on him in the limo for so long.
Poor guy.
And the music that was playing, they probably pulled the score from Schindler's List. Like, this was so brutal. So that's what I remember from Derek, is just weepy, weepy, weepy. And I think, if I remember right, he had sort of a villainous turn during his season of Paradise.
All right.
But I want to hear if the chat has any corrections on me on that. But I think he might not be the crystal clear glass of water that he would like us to think he is.
Not yet. They don't on Derek. Not just yet. We're seeing a lot of Joseph says, I see Tyler as Bachelor. And that's really it. He was never going to win Hanna. So we'll see about Derek. I know he's a little bit of a wild card. Let's move on to Dylan, which we know slightly more about. Of course, Dylan only from Hannah's season last season. And Dylan was one of the Double D duo, if I remember correctly. Dylan and Dustin, who got eliminated. And a lot of people were like, what? Who are they? Yeah. Very much in the background of Hannah's season. Didn't make a huge impression. Obviously enough to get on Bachelor in Paradise. Seemed the whole time like a nice guy, but we just really didn't get to know him at all.
We don't know him that well. I think in the preview we saw some Hanna G connection. And Hanna G is another sort of darling of the franchise. So I think she'll be a hot Paradise commodity. And I think, from what I've seen, Dylan wants to slide into those DMs.
That was a perfect transition, because Hanna G is next. And in the preview, we see a lot of Hanna G connections. So Hanna, of course, I love Hanna. Hanna turned it around for me beyond any shadow of a doubt with her and Colton's little massage date in the shower and just going to town. She really came out of her shell like I would never have expected. I like her. She, again, is like feisty, but in a more reserved way, which is kind of cool. But it seems similarly, like we've seen in the previews for this season, that she is on a smorgasbord as well.
I'm sure she is a popular choice. A lot of Instagram followers as well. You know, people are thinking about that when they're hooking up. I don't want to shade Hanna, but I sort of have a similar feeling with Tyler C, where just not quite interesting enough for me to find as compelling television. Probably a very nice person. So we'll see what happens with Hanna G.
Ryan B says, I don't even remember Derek, and Joseph says, I don't remember Dylan. So it's the curse of the names with D, maybe, perhaps. Yes. Let's move on. Of course, now we have Jane Overbook.
That's enough.
Yeah.
And after Jane.
She was from Colton's season. I watched this season very hard. Honestly, I don't remember. Do you remember Jane?
No.
This was an early elimination. It must have been.
Are we sure Jane didn't audition for Colton's season?
Poor Jane. She looks really nice. She's beautiful. She has a mole birthmark in the same place that my wife does, so that's big points for her.
Cool.
And, a lot of times, being an underdog like this or unknown can work to your advantage, because people don't know that you're a bad person or that you're a good person or your baggage or anything like that. So maybe she's a sleeper. But next, no sleeper to anybody, is your boy JPJ, John Paul Jones. Love at first sight with his name, of course. Only goes by all 3, and he was in Hannah's season. We love this guy just for straight up comedic value, and he's just there to have a good time. His interviews are always like, look, I got off of work. They're feeding me. I'm having a good time.
John Paul Jones, bro, Shaka bra. He just comes and he just chills, man.
This
That's what he does.
Paradise is the perfect place for him. He's going to chill and drink and have a great time.
Have his own vacation.
He is going to have no problems.
Yes.
Just like we think Demi's other half of the secret agent duo, Katie, of course, again, only on Colton season, formed a little friendship there with Demi. Was in a little bit of Hannah's season doing the secret agent thing.
Yes.
I like Katie. I think she was super nice. She made it pretty far with Colton. Seemed like a pretty good lock, and I think she's going to have no problem finding somebody.
I think she's like perfect for Paradise. I will say the one Katie moment that is forever burned into my brain is her mentioning that she's a passionate dancer and then cutting to the B-roll of her dancing in the studio, and it just seemed like there was a disconnect. And I'm going to be honest, I found it to be hilarious. But Katie, I wish you the best. Have a great Paradise.
Up next is Kevin from Hannah's season. Kevin eliminated relatively early, if I'm not mistaken.
Because
and
he caught Jed making out with Hanna. And remember his reaction was like, I stared, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Kevin was always a little weird.
A little weird.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say is not a lot of humor. A very serious guy in my mind and my recollection.
Kind of intense.
A little bit tense, yeah. And he's going to have to loosen up. Maybe, a few drinks is going to make it happen for him in Paradise. He's got to kind of go with the flow for it. So, I don't know, a little bit skeptical. But again, if I'm not remembering wrong, in the previews, we see him at least with a couple ladies. So good for him. Up next, Nicole. I don't know, we're just flying through. Nicole, of course, from Colton season.
Hi, Mike, I just feel like you treat me like a bully.
God, she cried a lot,
I need
too.
to confront.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of crying in Bachelor in Paradise. We've already seen in the previews a bunch of guys cry. I think JPJ is crying too. So I'm sure she gets a cry fest going on at some point. But again, like we said with a bunch of the other contestants, deep down, she's just a really good person.
Oh, I like Nicole. I'm shading her, but I like her.
Of course, we remember her taking care of her brother who is disabled.
Right.
A lot of family. She seemed just an amazing, strong, good-hearted person. She deserves love, and I hope she gets a really good match. She needs a
sensitive. Oh, and who do we have next? But
this is another one of my favorite. I love Onyeka.
Speaking of Nicole,
is it obvious that I love all the girls that are like really outgoing and like spunky and like feisty? Because that's Onyeka. I love it. I'm excited.
I love Onyeka too. I'm interested because I think we talked about tilting into that MTV type of. Yeah. That will be Yakes.
She's there.
I just feel like she loves the drama.
She's there.
I kind of see her being the one who like is dating, but also just like up in everyone's business. She had the air horn. I know she's a divisive contestant, but I think Onyeka is hilarious, and I think
because he was drowning, right?
Yeah.
I heard you're drowning.
Yeah, I just think she always has catchphrases that are just so crass.
She's great.
She's gonna thrive in Paradise.
She's gonna have a lot of fun.
Yes.
Next up, we're almost done, guys. Is Sydney. Of course, Sydney, also on Colton season, we take a lot of the people from the most recent seasons.
Yep.
Sydney, to me, honestly, gut instinct and memory, a little bit milquetoast. Mm-hmm. Not very energetic, a little bit more reserved. She was, if I'm not unmistaken, on more of the older girls' side of the house when they were in that whole kind of tiff and riff. So, again, seems like a super nice person. I want her to be more outgoing and find a connection.
Let's hope we get to know her better during this season.
Absolutely. Second to last, Tayshia. I mean, come on. What is there to say about Tayshia?
Love Tayshia.
Third or second runner-up, depending on how you want to slice it. It wasn't really fair to them at the end there for Colton's season, which is the only season she's been on. Love her. Mm-hmm. She had such a strong connection, authentic person, very outgoing. She's going to have no problems in Paradise.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what she does. She's beautiful. I can't lie and say I'm sort of excited to see her in a bikini during the season.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes.
And then the last person for you to see in a bikini, of course, is Wills. Wills, we can't wait to see his bikinis and his outfits because this guy in fashion is another level with the outfits that he comes on. Of course, he was on Becca's season, and then he was in the most recent season of Bachelor in Paradise too. Didn't find love. Wills is a smooth guy. He's got the game. He's got the talk. I think he's going to do really, really well. I think he is a little bit more laid back and relaxed, too.
You think, dude?
I think
he's
so.
So chill, man.
So I think for a lot of the girls that we already went through, he's got a lot of good potential matches in there if he wants to go opposite of him or if he wants to go similar to him.
I like Wills too, but I do feel like he kind of cares.
Do you see them in a love connection or do you see them in like a strategic alliance to make it further?
Sometimes that's a Venn diagram with a lot of overlap.
I like it.
We'll see.
I don't have a good answer for this, but I'm going to put it to you because I've now shut out all of the windows. Mm-hmm. Do you have a prediction for us on who is the first person eliminated? I know that's hard. I'm
gonna say Jane. Because
that's a good choice.
because the fans are dating with who they're attracted to, but also who they know has the most like Bachelor notoriety and Instagram followers.
Yeah.
And if we haven't heard of Jane,
It's not really Jane.
I'm just gonna call Jane.
Guys, let us know in the comments who you guys think will be the first people eliminated. Do we want to talk really quick about spoilers? Ryan, put the spoiler song on.
Spoiler
Okay.
alert.
The problem is, I don't know if I want to know spoilers.
This isn't really spoilers, because
Okay.
I was just going to talk about a couple of the other people we know from the previews.
Okay.
So real quick, we know Mike is on,
Mike's
right?
gonna
And
be
we
showing
love
up.
Mike.
Yes.
The thing is, do you think we already have... Okay, the whole discussion... How much time we got, Ryan? Because I can talk for... Oh, we got to wrap. Well, thank you, my friend. So really super quick. We know basically it's been between Mike and Tyler to be the next Bachelor. Tyler is not in Bachelor in Paradise for all that we know right now, and ostensibly he's not going to be there. What do you think about Mike's chances to be Bachelor because of the fact he's on Bachelor in Paradise? And the fact that we really think he might be the Bachelor, can we just surmise it doesn't work for him maybe almost right away?
Well, Colton did this. He paradised, and
he
then
did make it a long
bachelored.
time.
So it's hard for us to know right now. I just think it's too early to make that call. And I hope Mike maintains his likable status in Paradise. I hope he doesn't get the villain.
We've heard some rumors that it might not be amazing. So who knows? We don't know.
Paradise can lead to goodwill or bad will within the franchise. So it's I think depending on how he does is really what's going to determine his future in the franchise.
I agree. And then finally, the last thing I was going to bring up is the person from Bachelor, definitely Bachelor in Paradise, but I would say Bachelor in general, that I'm most excited that their love connection didn't work out is your boy Jordan. Because Jordan is hilarious. Jordan is his own kind of person, Wilhelmina model. He is just so unique.
Yes.
I love seeing him interact. We know he gets into some kind of fight. I can't wait to see what they do with Jordan this season.
Truly, and I mean this with affection, one of the strangest people.
Oh, yeah.
One of the strangest
But he's
characters. He's great. I love it. It's just like when Jordan's on screen, you're glued to the screen because you truly don't know what he's going to say.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
I absolutely love it. Guys, that's going to do it for this episode. This was our preview for Bachelor in Paradise. Of course, it's starting today. Guys, we're going to be here every week on Tuesdays.
At 8 p.m.
Tuesdays at 8 p.m. doing our Bachelor in Paradise wrap-up. Every episode, we're going to cover the previous 2 episodes from that week. We're super excited to see where that goes. Jeff, you're going to be joining us. Renee is back. Christine's back. The whole original Bachelor panel from this past season.
Yes.
It's me too. But until tomorrow, where can they go find you tweeting out tonight?
I can be found at Jeffrey C. Graham. I also just filmed a short form segment. That's our new Bachelor news show. So there's some hot tea updates about Tyler Cameron and a well-regarded social media influencer and model.
All
So
right.
check that out. That should be appearing in this channel in the next couple hours. And like Mike said, we're on at 8 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. Just
Thank
clarifying.
you. 8
Yep.
p.m. Pacific, absolutely. But
Yep.
I will be on in about 40 minutes right here on AfterBuzz Reality covering Love Island and Friday's episode. Until then, if you want to hang out for the next 30 minutes, you can find me everywhere at Mike Thieling. And if you're not watching me on Love Island until tomorrow, go have a drink. We'll see ya.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.